Because Will said we were meant to be using our resources to help him mentally and, emotionally. And then all of a sudden you decided to entangle with the subject matter. She has nothing else to do but to focus on herself. Unless another August or September or October comes into the picture, then marry on with the entanglement. Oh, Lord. Let's go.
This red table for me, is all the stuff that's going on in the press.
Okay.
I felt like it was important to come to the table to really clear the air. Somebody made a statement for me that wasn't a statement I made.
Somebody, as in August, I presume. But let me continue watching.
That went
cray.
One of the reasons why I wanted to come to the table is the media, the headlines. We specifically never said anything. We were purposely not saying anything. Any headline that says Jada said or Will said or the Smith said is not true. We specifically never said anything.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some notes down so that I can talk about it right at the end of the video, because I don't want to keep pausing and stop starting. I want it to flow, and then I can give an overall review or my take-home message, I suppose, because you already know that my channel is an educational channel and there is so much we can learn from this, okay? So I'm gonna just hit the play button, take some notes, and then you can watch it as well, all right?
To the table was like, we just felt like it got to the point where you gotta say something.
Yeah, and to stop that cycle.
Yeah.
And to stop the cycle, the bullshit spreading.
You know, and at the end of the day, I don't like how all of this came to be.
Okay.
That doesn't matter. It's all love.
But is it though?
Honestly.
Is it the open relationship that?
Usually not. You know, that would be something I wouldn't comment on at all.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
I feel like it's a situation that I considered private.
You just feel like it ain't really
nobody's business.
But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
Okay.
But I feel like it's healing that needs to happen. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Even though this is minuscule, I do feel like
Is it minuscule?
these kinds of things that create the world that we're in, and the idea of not communicating, not talking about it, not clearing the air, and just being as transparent. Just being transparent.
And I'm here with you.
I thank you for that, because you've been on a hell of a journey with me. So that's what we're going to do.
So cringe.
A very personal journey.
Yeah.
That became very public.
Yes, absolutely.
For whatever reason.
So what happened, Jada?
Okay.
So tell us.
With, I guess about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, that
I
long.
think it was about 4 years ago.
Why is she looking at Will as if Will would know?
Friendship with August.
Okay.
And we actually became really, really good friends.
Ooh.
Started with he just needed some help.
Oh gosh.
His health, his mental state.
Because for me, that was the thing when Aug first came around, he was really sick.
He was
Wow, really sick, mentally or physically?
Outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah.
Initially?
Found all those different resources, to help pull him through. And from there, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you picked me up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, you know.
Tell us.
From there, you know, as time went on.
I thought I would kick it up a notch.
Kind of entanglement.
Entanglement.
One thing I want to get clear about, clean up, one of the things that was kind of swirling in the press about you giving permission, which is
Okay.
You know, the only person that can give permission in that particular circumstance is myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But what
Oh well.
I'm trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission, because we were separated amicably.
Really?
And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker.
I think so. I mean, because this is your red table, and you. Brought yourself to the red table.
Not meaning to wreck a home is still a home wrecker, okay? And this woman, she's just glossing over the question and not really getting to the point. Tell us what happened.
I think so. I mean, because this is your red table, and you like brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
Why is she acting clueless?
Decided we were going to take our space, and what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with.
Entanglement.
That's what I said.
Why she's
Yes.
call it what it is, woman.
Yes, it was a relationship, absolutely.
Is she embarrassed?
And I was very broken. Now, in the process.
It's like he doesn't even deserve to be called a relationship, as in August.
You can't find happiness outside of yourself. And luckily enough.
She's like a poet, very rehearsed.
We're also going through a process of healing in a much different manner. I would definitely say we did everything that we could to get away from each other, only to realize that that wasn't possible.
So we come to the red table. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So you know, you during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good.
She wants to feel good.
It's been so long since I felt good.
What does that even mean? That's, oh God.
To just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
With my
Codependency. That's what I was gonna say.
I had to learn to break the cycle.
Right.
Idea needing to
Fix. Will has nothing to fix.
Your health, or whether it's your addictions. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people.
Yeah, I get that.
Versus
Fixing yourself. Yeah.
And I think that whole
Yeah.
process with all really showed me that
Yeah.
and taught me that.
Mm.
And I'm really grateful for that lesson.
I
Yeah.
feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference. I'm that husband. Now I gotta be with you at the press conference while you like tell the world about your transgressions. Like I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
Well, you know, I definitely understand.
He's sad. Oh, bless
I
him.
feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all.
This
In
woman.
this particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing.
Deep healing.
As I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me, which was totally understandable.
August had had enough.
And I let that be, and hadn't talked to him since. So it is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now, since this was
Yeah, because for me this was years ago, right? You know, so the fact that it's coming up now, and I think it could feel weird for people that we're laughing and talking about it, but
it happened so long ago.
You know, and
Yeah, but But it's still affecting you guys though. It's written all over Will's face.
Fighting through it, talking through it, and therapizing through it. I think that the why now is weird.
Yeah, when I say it's been a huge healing of my life, and just what I had to confront and discover, you know, about.
But I hear no apology. Well, she doesn't see it as anything wrong because she healed.
I felt like wasn't really ready to be discussed because it hadn't been that healing, because he hasn't wanted to, you know, August and I haven't talked in so long. You know what I mean?
It's probably good that way. You might get entangled again.
Strange, you know. But I'm grateful for the journey that you and I have had together. Because I feel like there are a lot of couples that go through those periods. And a lot of couples that have to separate and think it's over. And, you know, the one thing I'll say about you and I is that there's never been secrets.
Right. We came together young, and we were both broken in our own ways. And to be able to make mistakes without the fear of losing your family is so critical.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the idea of any relationship and trying to get to deeper understanding of love is going to be forged in fire.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that I'm deeply grateful in this whole process between you and I is that we have really gotten to that new place of unconditional love.
Because I wasn't
Unconditional.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
Miracle.
No, but it ain't for the weak at heart. There's just certain things that you have to go through, and it's like.
And I wish, you know, I wish that wasn't the case. I do. I wish that wasn't the case.
I sure wish it could be all magic and miracle.
Yeah. You got to go through some to get the answers. You know, and I'm just happy because I definitely believe that you and I, we never, ever, ever thought that we would make it back.
Yeah, there's a real
Back-
power in the
Back where?
just knowing somebody's riding with you no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so toxic.
They through some stuff, you know. I don't want to go through this no more.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm gonna get you back first, and then.
You gonna get me back? I think we got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
That's probably true.
You know, but
Okay.
and I don't think it's about getting anybody back.
No, for me.
It is.
I'll give you that petty. That's what you want. But you know, I will definitely say it's part of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it?
Be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We
Die
got it.
together. Bad marriage for life.
Oh gosh.
That's terrible.
Very terrible.
This is true.
But yeah, it's
I bet they're both sweating.
I told you the first year we were married
What'd you tell me?
that I can love you through anything.
Oh no, you didn't.
You know, Crystal Ball said this, and this is gonna happen. I'm like, no way.
You thought I was that I didn't have the girth that it was gonna take to ride with
I
you
didn't.
through.
Yeah.
Oh, the girl. Are we still talking about the same thing?
Capacity to love me.
You know, how am I doing?
You doing great. Yeah. You're awesome.
Oh my. Whew. Wow. Overall, I think they spoke like two adults. If anything, I commend Will for how how well he composed himself, even though his face, his eyes, you could tell that he'd been crying, or like there was a lot of pain in his eyes. But aside from that, he held his own and he was able to keep a straight face. You couldn't really hear much like resentment or anything like that, even whilst the person you love, your spouse, is describing an entanglement, you know, not feeling love or happiness in a long time, talking about girth and stuff. At a point, I didn't even know what she was talking about. I thought she was actually describing the interaction, the intercourse that happened. So all of that, I felt like he held his own. I know that people say that he held his own because they're in an open marriage and he did his own stuff. So how can he say anything about her doing her own stuff for her happiness as well? But the thing is, she was never brought to the table when his stuff came out. Maybe his stuff was not as grand as hers. Who knows? I don't, maybe you do, but I don't. But I think overall he held it well. When someone is describing something that's a very painful thing to you, even though it's 4 years, I think he's still in his healing process, and he's still very much affected by it. If anything, it's more of a wound than a scar, as in they haven't really healed. He hasn't healed through it yet, because he looks like he's still under the notion that he would do anything to hold on to her, as in he can love her through anything. And the thing is, she knows that. That's one of the first things he told her at the beginning of their marriage. She even said that if someone said she'd have to go through X, Y, and Z, she would have said no. I think she was implying the things she's had to go through with Will, she would have checked out a long time ago. But the fact that Will is there, I don't know if it's because his first marriage failed and he just doesn't want the second one to fail, so he genuinely is happy to just stick it out through anything, however toxic it may be. He seems very, very broken, and I don't even think Jada wants to fix him like that. She doesn't see him as someone to fix, because it's probably not as thrilling as August is for her. Oof. She mentioned something about, oh, it's all love. You know, is it really all love? What is love? You know, when you meet people, you need to find out what their definition of love is, okay? Because she's done all this. She doesn't see it as a transgression or anything off, because at the end of the day, she got the healing that she wanted. She doesn't see anything wrong with it. And in her head, it's love. So it's kind of like, just deal with it, because you did say you're gonna love me through anything anyway. So please, before you meet anyone, people who are single, find out what that other person's definition of love is. Okay, me, I'm Christian. If the love is not coming from the source, I don't want your definition of love. Okay, so that's one advice I'm giving to you. The next thing that she spoke about was how she's codependent. Okay, she finds her worth in helping other people. That in and of itself is not wrong, because it's not bad to help people. But when you have an obsession, that you have to fix somebody in order to feel alive, okay, that is when the problem comes in, because she probably saw Will as having everything together, and as she said, she hadn't dealt with her own childhood trauma, and now she found a project that she could manage, okay, because Will said we were meant to be using our resources to help him mentally and emotionally, and then all of a sudden you decided to entangle with the subject matter. Oh lordy, As much as it sounds great that she's had this revelation and this awakening and she's found herself through this entanglement and this toxicity, it sounds great. You know, it sounds great. But when you're in Will's shoes and you had to do all of that in order to find yourself, it's not really a pretty place to be, okay? Oh God. So August came to you because he saw you as this mentor, someone who is woke, and you look like you got your ish together. When you have healed, okay, so this is where things change for me. When you've healed or you've gone through your healing process, you know what questions to ask people in order to get them to the end goal. So if you're trying to heal someone or help someone through their journey to healing, when you have healed yourself, you know what questions to, ask to really get them to go deeper, to bring them out from their the box that they've put them in order to come out of it victorious, okay? That's when you are a healer. In Jada's case, the reason why I'm swaying towards predatory mentorship and conniving, opportunist, manipulation, tactic kind of mentorship is because she knew this person was broken. She knew she was broken. She knew what she could do to get him out of the state of brokenness because she's done it for other people. But she didn't do that. I think with August, she felt, actually, I'm okay with this person being broken. I don't need to fix him for better. I can pick certain things that will keep him in his brokenness so that we can continue being entangled for longer. I don't even know if that's making sense. But when you're broken, or when you're a manipulator, a broken manipulator, you know how to manipulate things to keep them as they are, but it's very strategic, okay? Whereas if she was really trying to help him, they had those resources to really get him out of the sick state, as they said, mentally sick state. But again, she admitted it. She admitted that she needed to work on herself first. So you can't really fault her too much on that. I guess maybe because August is no longer in the picture, so now she has nothing else to do but to focus on herself, unless another August or September or October comes into the picture, then marry on with the entanglement. Oh Lord. So what I would say is, look, marriage is an institution that is sacred and holy. You cannot just open your mouth and start redefining the very foundation of what that sacred institution is all about. You can't just say, I want it to be like this, so that's how I view marriage as. You need to go to the source. Again, I'm Christian, and that's the very foundation on which marriage is built, okay? Anything that broadens the definition of marriage will shake the very foundation of the family system, okay? You're all going to be damaged and broken if both of you have you're not connected to the source, okay? The right source. Just because you've consented to someone cheating or getting entangled, just because you've consented to it, as in not necessarily what August said about permission per se. I'm saying consenting to the idea of an open marriage. That in itself is even counterproductive, counterintuitive, and an oxymoron. it cannot be an open marriage. There are no third parties other than God himself that should be in the marriage. So when there are other parties that you are getting entangled with, spreading your flesh, it says 1 and 1 will become one flesh. Now you have this extra flesh trying to also be combined with this flesh. It's gonna be a hot mess, okay? And it all revolves around a perverted idea of what marriage is. It's a very self-centered request to even initiate open marriages, okay, or open relationships, because it's a win-win situation for the person requesting it. One is either they get aroused, okay, there are people who get aroused by the very idea that their partner is being aroused by somebody else, okay, that in and of itself gives them arousal, okay, so that is a win for them. Or they have come to the last legs of that relationship and they want extra flavors to happen in that relationship. So all of a sudden they're suggesting that, how about you go and seek your happiness, I go and seek my happiness, but you have my consent and I have your consent, so now we can do whatever we want. But can you? You know, I think it's a delusion. You know, you're delusional if you think you will not be jealous, you won't be damaged mentally in some way if just because you've consented to something. So it's just very, very mind-boggling, and you can see it written all over Will's face. Most of the time when you enter into these open marriages, there are contracts, there are rules you have to adhere to. Maybe one of them was do not get with younger people or your son's friends. Can you imagine if Will got with Willow's friend? I mean, his name will be up in the flames, okay? I think that was probably one of the rules that they couldn't break, like rules of engagement. You know, August had had enough and he just thought, let me go cray cray. When you don't see something is wrong and you make excuses for your actions, not taking any responsibility or accountability, which I think Jada was doing in this case, you might wiggle your way out of the situation, but deep down, she's the one saying she's trying to be on this healing process, but she's justifying that she will get to her healing regardless of who she needs to break to get there. But that in and of itself is still broken because she hasn't learned anything from the process, because she's still breaking people, okay? She's not really healing. In her head, she thinks she's healing, but she's not, because she's still hurting people in the process. When you are genuinely on a healing process, you are considerate, okay? You are considerate of the people close to you that you use your mouth to say you love, okay? You're considerate of those people. So for you to say, I'm on my healing process, I don't see it as transgression, because quite frankly, I got my healing out of it. What about August? Who's licking his wounds, okay? Or is he licking his own wounds? What about Will? What about your children? It's a hot mess. This has taught us that we shouldn't glamorize everything we see. Society will glamorize an open marriage and tell you that, you know, you can get all your needs met and your spouse can also get their needs met. It's a win-win situation, but they don't really peel the curtains back or pull they don't pull the curtains back for you to see what happens behind the scenes, and then you just go merrily on your way and try to suggest this nonsensical situations to your poor spouse, and then you just want them to agree with you. I wonder who initiated this whole open marriage thing. I have a feeling it might have been Jada, because again, Will is gonna love her through anything, and she was talking about not feeling happy in a long time, and they were trying to stay together for whatever reason. maybe financial, maybe for the kids, whatever it is. Maybe they have a contract that they have to stay together. You just never know. You look at these things, you glamorize it, oh, relationship goals, couple goals, and then all of a sudden this happens, and then you're like, eh? I think I've spoken too long. But yeah, that's my 2 pence, 2 cents. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this whole thing? I think it's definitely a learning opportunity for all of us to, you know, pick little nuggets from it, not to necessarily emulate their behavior, but definitely to pick out some aspects that we can apply in our own lives, because obviously, you know, my channel is educational, so I thought I'd come here and react to the video. Anyway, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and comment down below what you learned from this open table chat, and don't forget to subscribe. All right guys, until next time, take care and God bless. Bye bye.